On this episode of Travelogue, we'll be discovering the secluded island of Lanyu. Here we'll meet the ethnic minority which resides on the island. And we'll also get to try some of Asia's most underrated snorkeling. It's going to be adrenaline fever as we take our bikes out and then paraglide around the Huadong corridor. Finally, the famous Taroko Gorge and lots of other things.
Hi, I'm Mark Edwards. Welcome to Travelogue and welcome to our Taiwan series. I'm about to get on a plane to Lanyu, or Orchid Island as it's more commonly known in English. There I'm hoping to do a bit of snorkeling as well as dive right into some Dao traditional Aboriginal culture. Then it's going to be back onto the island to Taichung, up the east coast, northwards towards Hualien, taking in the Taroko Gorge and lots of other things which I'm very excited about. But first, let's get on the smallest and safest looking plane I've ever seen. Wish me luck.
Okay, so this tiny plane may not seem particularly reassuring at first sight. Don't fret. The island is accessible by sea with a 2-hour ferry ride as well as by air.
So our flying little sardine can finally made it up. It's actually a nifty little thing. There's space for 20 or I think 19 people. And it takes about 20 minutes to get to the island, so we should be there in just a second.
Around 90 kilometers southeast of Taichung, you'll find one of Taiwan's true gems rising out of the sea. Lanyu is a destination of unbridled beauty and endless cultural fascination. This Emerald Isle covers an area of just 45 square kilometers and is the sole domain of one of Taiwan's original indigenous tribes, the Seafaring Dao.
现在我们在哪？
我们在东青这边。
东青小村子，有几个小村子？
有6个村庄。小6个村庄。
这个都是东青。
这边是东青，那边是盐。
所以，然后我们全部可以看那个大的。
With a population of over 3,500 traditionally peaceful seagoing people, the Dao have strong cultural and linguistic links to the inhabitants of the Philippines' Banten Islands. But Lanyu's history has mostly been shaped by its remoteness. Its inhabitants have been more or less left to their own devices for the best part of 800 years. All of which explains why the sweeping tide of modernity hasn't wreaked havoc on Lanyu. The only real source of havoc here is the weather. The climate is hot and humid, with frequent high winds and typhoons during the summer months, brought on by its geographical exposure. But if you're looking for excitement mixed with a timeless cultural spectacle in a cocktail of adventure, then Orchid Island is for you. But no tears if it does end up raining, because it might be even a better way to check out these places. Many of Orchid Island's residences are built specifically to deal with their unique environment. So don't miss the chance to visit the traditional Dao signature semi-subterranean houses.
这个是你的帐篷
啊，对对对。
但是为什么这么小啊？
哦，因为这个地方哦，是因为有时候台风一进来有没有？台风进来的话， 比较房子盖在底下一点，它就会台风就会打不到，深度是差不多是3米。
可以进去看一下吗？
可以进去，可以进去。那但小心点那个。
哦，错，对。
这要爬进去哈。
哎，哇！
这个
都是什么
羊角这些东西跟猪肉，就是代表他的家族这个人很有财富，他养很多羊，然后很多这个猪。
这个房间有多少年啊？
哦，它将近快100年，100多年了。
It's an all-in-one. Basically, I'm in the bedroom area, and they can make the food over there in the corner. I'm not sure you can see it. It's very cozy, and this area is more when you've got guests. You can come in and hang out over here, and then when you go to sleep, it's all in here.
Typhoons regularly cut the Dao completely off from the outside world. But this has made them self-sufficient, and they're accustomed to providing for themselves by fishing and organic farming. Although not overly difficult to get to, remarkably few tourists make it out here, which means that Lanyu is quiet for most of the year. So one of the highlights of a visit is the chance to just stroll around, absorbing the timeless rhythms of the island. Such is the reliance on fishing that you'll not be surprised by how important boats are within the Lanyu community. Much more than just a means of transport, they hold the key to the livelihood of the entire island.
你好，这个船都是你自己做的吗？
自己做的。
做一个多长时间？
你一个人做这个一条船的话，是4个月。4个月。2个人做的话，3个月就过了。最快是3个月。
3个月以后是你自己画画吗？
自己画画，也不要叫别人去画，自己画就好了。
也是你。
This 65-year-old gentleman is busy making the 8th boat of his life. For Dao people, this isn't a business, it's a necessity. You don't make a new boat until the old one has had its day, which in his estimation is after at least 10 years.
Here we go, and that's what the end result is. Traditional Dao boats with their paintings on the side. So here, quite obviously, we've got the people that would be inside the boat. But more interestingly, this is an eye, and they have an eye on both sides. So you have 2 eyes here and at the back, and so essentially you can see in the boat. That's what the eye signifies.
Such is the importance of these boats that a launch festival is held every time a new one is completed. So as soon as they're done, you'll see them taken right out onto the sea. The Dao remain very traditional in their lifestyle, often wearing their uniform loincloths and using their homemade boats to catch some fish. But trying to arrive on Lanyu in time for a boat launch festival may be leaving rather too much to chance. However, don't despair. Every year, Lanyu's villagers are caught up in a tide of traditional festivals, arguably the biggest one being the Flying Fish Festival. It's colourful, exotic, and the most profound expression of the enduring Dao identity. It takes place every spring just before the flying fish season. So you'll get your fair share of loincloths, steel helmets, and breastplates when the men head out to sea in their canoes. It's a lot harder than our 63-year-old teacher made it out to be. You can try this when you come here, with loincloths optional of course, and you'll see just how much skill these people need to maintain their livelihood. Yep, I'm the joke of the town. It quickly makes you realise that your own family will probably starve to death if it was left up to you to fend for them. It's time to see what the real professionals are like. They've just returned from a fishing trip. So let's check out what today's catch is.
今天捞了6000多只，6000多只，对，有时候不是更多，上万只都有。哦，哎，那个就大满载了。
We're lucky to be here during the flying fish season, which runs from March to June. In that period, the lads catch their entire year's supply of fish. Most of the fish is hung up to dry so it will last. You want to know why they only do it for these few months? Well, apart from being able to kick back a little for the rest of the time, it ensures that the fish stocks are replenished every year. Talk about environmentally friendly fishing.
Where have you come from?
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong?
Yes.
Are you here working or holidaying or?
Holiday.
Holiday?
Yes.
Why did you come to Lanyu?
Because it's so quiet.
So quiet.
I just love this quiet environment. And the people are so nice. Time is precious thing in Hong Kong, but time is nothing here. Hong Kong people have plans. The people here do not have plans.
They just relax and
just relax.
They enjoy the simple life.
Yes,
You can drive around the entire island in a little over 2 hours. Just follow the 50-kilometre paved road. And without a doubt, the best way to do it is by hiring a moped. You could take on those winding roads, stopping whenever you please to swim, snorkel, or just soak up some of the captivating coastal scenery. It really is the best way to get your full quota of coastal rock formation. You'll have lions, dragons, turtles, and even lovers looking right back at you.
Huh? Let's go.
The combination of untainted coral reef and the Japan current, which brings in all manner of tropical marine life, makes Lanyu one of the most underrated places in the world for snorkeling.
That was incredible. The snorkeling, it's so clear on there. I can see everything. Really, come here. Come and try some snorkeling here. Whew.
Right, enough watching fish. Time to eat some. Exercise, then hopefully a good bit of grub.
So I've arrived at the Epicurean Cafe on Lanyu Island, and having a quick look around. We've got a bit of Dao traditional culture with the paintings around, and some of the more modern stuff. We've got free internet, I think, over there, and a nice bar, and what appears to be a map of the island. Yeah, it is. Here we are, right here. Oh.
Yeah, so now you can see this is a famous food in Orchid Island. This is a flying fish.
Flying fish?
Flying fish, and this is taros and sweet potato.
Okay.
It's
Same thing.
Original daily food, local people.
Ah.
Very important food here.
Despite appearances, Orchid Island is far from lacking facilities for tourists. Homestays, hostels and B&Bs dot the island, with this place probably the pick of the lot. The Epicurean Cafe is a perfect blend of modern and traditional. Good local food with some nice, strong, exotic cocktails.
Are you from Lanyu?
No, I'm from Taipei.
Oh, okay. So how come you're here? 你是从兰屿来的吗？兰屿来的。啊，但是你不是。
我不是。
What happened?
I just a romantic story.
What's the romantic story?
When I was traveling, I met him. I just fell in love.
Oh, of course. Look at it. 他这么帅。
I think it's very brave.
Very brave.
Kiss you. Give you a kiss.
Give me a kiss.
亲亲。
亲亲。亲亲。
Yeah. Your hair.
Well, the minute you leave the seashore, the sun will inevitably follow you. It's not such a bad thing though when you're looking for some exercise. And our next stop is Guanshan. It's an old logging town now best known for its scenic 12-kilometre cycle path that loops around the city. That it's something for old and young alike will be evident when you see the diversity of people here. You'll notice that cycling and healthy exercise in general is extremely popular throughout Taiwan.
What a glorious day! The sun's outshining, I'm catching a tan, I'm riding on these bicycle-specific roads. I've got palm trees on each side, paddy fields on my right where I can see the lifestyle of the local people. I tell you what, this is quite something. I'm completely relaxed right now.
With these special lanes, you can choose your own tempo, and it can be an exercise in fitness, or just a chance to indulge yourself in a very relaxing Taiwan hobby. You'll be trim, tanned, and armed with a bucket load of jealousy-inducing holiday snaps of the gorgeous countryside. If you're looking for some adrenaline-filled thrills, then head to the Luye High Terrace. This is the place for you if you're happy to sign off your life on a form, and you don't mind if your instructor goes by the ominous name Lucifer.
1, 2, 3, go. There you are! That's just the guy who's teaching me, falling off the edge. Brilliant. That'll be...
Situated a few kilometres north of Taitung, Luye is widely considered Taiwan's top summertime paragliding site. This is thanks to the plateau here, which drops off sharply onto an expansive agricultural plain, providing pilots with several kilometres of glorious cross-country flying. The sport, and this location in particular, are becoming more and more popular.
Very scared when I was running down that hill. Unbelievable.
Overlooking what is commonly known as the Huadong Corridor, you mustn't miss the very real and at times very nerve-wracking bird's-eye view of the world. Apparently, people from all over the island, along with pilots from Hong Kong, Japan and South Korea, flock here during the summer months. And why not? There's no charge for private flyers here, as long as you can produce a C-grade pilot's license. But if you'd rather take a back seat, then fear not. There are plenty of instructors besides Lucifer who will happily show you an exhilarating time up high where the eagles fly. Not far from here, and you'll feel like you're in the south of France, with a slight twist being that you get tea plantations instead of vineyards. Traditionally a tea-growing area, you could take a breather while sampling some of the best quality, internationally acclaimed oolong tea on the island.
So feeling fully refreshed after a very comfortable night's sleep, I'm gonna 我走了。谢谢你，很舒服，很舒服，谢谢。
这一杯我们早春茶。
哦 ，OK。
今天早上刚好泡的清茶。
谢谢。
好喝吗？
很好喝。
Right, it's time to hit the road again. And driving in Taiwan is simply blissful. Of course, primarily because of the fascinating scenery, which is captivating everywhere you go. But also because there always seems to be something to jump out of the car for. And the Huatong Corridor Road is no exception. You'll find mountains, flowers, farms, and a little something different.
Another point of interest just here. This thing that's shaped like a sundial is actually to represent where the road crosses the Tropic of Cancer. So I'm going to go and have a look with this gentleman up here. So this is it. This line that I'm on right here is the Tropic of Cancer.
Don't worry if your maturity regresses as you find yourself repeating, "Are we there yet?" over and over. You won't be the first. Taroko Gorge is arguably Taiwan's foremost scenic attraction and one of the most spectacular natural wonders of the world. It's not difficult to see why. Stretching some 20 kilometers with marble walls that block out the sky as they soar several hundred meters above the Liwu River below. You've just got to see it to believe it. That said, you should be aware that the Taroko Gorge is situated well inside the Taroko Park within Hualien County. It's one of Taiwan's most diverse national parks and the second largest on the whole island. So it's probably best to spend a little more time here exploring, if you can spare it on your holiday.
Well, it's touted as one of the most spectacular natural wonders of the world, and boy does it deliver. I mean, I am staring at so much pure marble. I mean, it's pure marble rock face as further than the eye can see. And it's incredible to think that millions and millions of years ago, this was all under the sea. Simply mesmerizing. Have a look.
Formed over 200 million years ago, the gorge is a geological wonder. Slowly but surely, thanks to the Liwu River's industrious sculpting and eroding of the marble rock, Taiwan has been blessed with a tourist spot of immense beauty. And like pretty well every other tourist destination in Taiwan, it wouldn't be complete without the cultural input of its indigenous tribes. Here we have the Truku or Taroko tribe, Taiwan's 12th indigenous ethnic group. They number around 23,000 and are famous hunters, weavers and singers. Leave yourself enough time to go inland amongst the mountain peaks that make up the Taroko Park. Though the gorge is the main tourist magnet in the area, it comprises only a small part of the park. Much of the rest is made up of an easily navigable network of hiking trails, outdoor hot springs, and some of Taiwan's most challenging mountain climbs. The park stretches 36 kilometers east to west and 42 kilometers north to south, so there's plenty of land to delightfully lose yourself in. You won't be alone, as the wildlife is plentiful here. So all you nature lovers, make sure you're able to drag yourself away from the gorge to do some exploring. Almost at every turn, you'll find yourself face to face with a crystal clear lagoon or one of the 108 species of butterflies living here. Don't miss the opportunity to wind down those windows and take in the fresh sea breeze which will accompany you all the way up the east coast.
So whatever form of transport you can get your hands on, whether it's a minivan like we've got, on a train, or even just renting a little moped, I suggest you take the route from Kenting on the southern point all the way to Geelong on the north point, and you've got as your companion, as you can see on the right, the Pacific Ocean to take you the whole way.
It's without a doubt one of the most fulfilling experiences driving up the east coast, so don't rush it. But if you do only take one quick pit stop, try and hang on till you get to the Qing Shui Duan Yao, or Clearwater Cliffs as they're known in English. Located off the Suhua Highway, don't miss this place, as the cliffs drop precipitously into the Pacific Ocean. It's the ideal spot to get a breath of fresh air and take that perfect scenic photograph that you can show off to all your friends back home. And so, on to Fulong, where if you followed us, you will have come full circle, and where all that's left of your trip is fond memories. Maybe you won't have the time to take in all of the places we visited. Even so, you'll be both pleasantly surprised and amazed at what Taiwan has to offer. And above all, you'll appreciate that this really is an island of untold beauty and myriad charms.
Well, it's with a very, very heavy heart that I arrive at the northeast tip of Taiwan. And that's because it signifies the end of our series as a whole. I've had an incredible 3-week adventure here. I've met some wonderfully hospitable and generous people. I've really stuffed myself with some of the nicest food I've ever eaten and been completely taken aback by the beauty of the natural landscape. We have been unlucky some of the days where the weather hasn't always been on our side. Sun in the cities, for instance, and days like today where we're on the beach, and look at it, it's just a bit grey and a bit of wind. But, as they say, that's just part and parcel of being a traveller. Anyway, I better go before I really decide to move here permanently. I'm Mark Edwards, and I'll catch you very soon on another episode of Travelogue.